Thank you, Baz. Thank you very much, everyone, for having me on. What a tremendous place to be on a Saturday afternoon. This is awesome. My name is Rick White. I'm going to be reading a couple of stories to you. This first one is it's a bit spicy, so if anyone is of a nervous disposition or easily offended, then I have warned you. The interesting thing about this story, in my opinion, is that it is almost entirely true. The names have been changed very slightly. I'll leave it to you to decide which of the characters is based on me. Now, in real life, I am an account director for a business that supplies information, communication, technology, and business process outsourcing. And in my spare time, I'm an unsuccessful and unknown author. And that dichotomy is what this story is about. This is called The Clampdown. I hope you enjoy. I turned down the radio in my car. Talk radio. Some crappy, awful phone-in show providing a platform for the permanently incensed, middle-class, middle-aged, port-based white man to share his righteous views, dressing it up as debate for my amusement. And I insert a CD album. Yes, my car is that old. It's London Calling by The Clash. I chew the last remaining bite of my Egg McMuffin, stuffing the greasy wrapper into the cup holder, and as I pull into the car park of MyCom HQ, my place of work, I skip to track 9, Clampdown, and turn the volume way up. They put up a poster saying we earn more than you, we're working for the Clampdown. Joe Strummer sings the lyrics with classic punk vitriol over a pounding backbeat. I sing along through mouthfuls of egg. I've turned the Clash on and turned it up in the hope that someone will hear it blaring out of my crappy VW and think that I, Stephen Edward Anderson, am pretty fucking rock and roll. Compared to most regional telephony systems sales representatives, that is. Unfortunately, there's no one around to hear the Clash, as for once I'm actually quite early, so I park up and spend a few moments regarding myself in the rearview mirror. My face begins to melt. My features shift and blur until I'm just staring at two enormous black holes in a formless pink shape, my mouth a gaping maw of eternal nothingness. Just a typical Monday morning, I chuckle to myself, straightening my tie and psyching myself for another day of corporate hell. I am a field-based sales representative, which means I'm supposed to spend my time face-to-face in client meetings. In reality, I spend most of my time in motorway service stations or at home pretending to work, wanking furiously like some deranged zoo animal. Which is why today I've been summoned for a meeting with my boss, Kieran Knox, to review my quarterly sales figures, which are, by anyone's standards, absolutely shit. I could well be getting sacked today, but I'm not going down without a fight, and like any consistently below-par sales professional, I've got my excuses prepped and ready to go. 1. Unreasonable and unachievable sales targets. 2. Lack of marketing investments and initiatives. 3. No man born with a living soul should be working for the Clampdown. I'm supposed to use a keyboard? I'm supposed to use a key card to enter the building, but I've forgotten it. So I push every button on an intercom simultaneously, and Shannon, our receptionist, lets me in. Morning, Stephen, she says in her smiley voice. Bit early for you, isn't it? Yeah, I say with a casual laugh. I shit the bed again. She doesn't get the joke I'm trying to make, just crinkles her nose and looks visibly uncomfortable. I take a moment to rain down an apocalyptic loathing upon myself, and then I notice what's on her desk. Oh my God, who put that there? Hold that up for those at the back. Sitting on the reception desk is a toy, a My Little Pony, turquoise with rainbow-coloured mane and tail. Actually reminds me of Shannon a little bit. Anthony Burke told me not to move it. Says he's got loads more and he's putting them everywhere. Tony Burke, top-performing salesperson and psychotic office bully, has placed the My Little Pony there as a joke. A cruel one, which I and everyone else know is aimed at Benjamin Story, a shy, awkward kid who works in the customer service department. Young Benji recently let slip some rather disturbing information on a drunken team night out. Benjamin is into something called clopping, a particularly niche and disturbing fetish, which involves getting turned on by pornographic depictions of My Little Ponies. Cloppers, or bronies, as they're also known, like to create their own material and circulate it online. Unfortunately, some of Benjamin's work has now been seen by pretty much all of MyCom's staff. Obviously his life is over. His work life, at least. Poor kid, I say to Shannon. As I slope upstairs to my desk, I walk past Tony Burke, hunched over a spreadsheet like he's Trump inputting the nuclear codes. He sees me and looks up. Did you see it? Yeah, I saw it. Got loads more. Putting them everywhere, fucking pervy little weirdo. Indeed. You got your meeting with Noxie today, haven't you? Hope you bought your padded underpants, mate. You're in for a spanking, I heard. Noxie's going to wear you like a glove. Big Tone laughs a terrible, sadistic laugh. It echoes around my head as I boot up my laptop and bring up my quarterly sales figures. Unachievable sales targets, no marketing budget. Unachievable sales targets, no marketing budget. In these days of evil presidentes working for the clampdown. I know how Benjamin Story feels. Actually, I don't, but I have an approximation. When I first started at MyCom, I was asked to introduce myself and horrifyingly tell everyone an interesting fact about myself. Foolishly, I told everyone that I used to be in a band called Furious Dad, who once put out an EP via a small independent record label and once supported Catfish and the Bottlemen before they made it big. I thought everyone would be mildly impressed, sort of like, oh hey, that's cool, I play bass if you ever want to jam. But no, they all thought it was absolutely hilarious, as if the concept of music and of small groups of people playing it together was every bit as alien to them as clopping. The whole sales team rushed straight to the nearest PC and Googled my band. They played a track off our EP entitled Disappointing Avocado. I sung it in a kind of Morrissey-esque drawl, kind of like, disappointing avocado, the kind you never want to eat. Disappointing avocado, the colour of your mother's bathroom suite in the 1970s. Thank you. It was meant to be slightly ironic, off kilter. They all laughed as if it was the funniest thing they'd ever heard, but the thing was, they didn't think they were laughing at me. They thought they were laughing with me, because they were convinced that I would think it was hilarious too, 5 years after the breakup of my band and having landed a sweet new sales job at MyCom. I should be able to look back at Furious Dad through 2020 hindsight and see the funny side, like someone looking at a photo of themselves wearing a shell suit in the 90s. Only they didn't realise that I loved that shell suit more than anything else in the world and still do. That shell suit was who I was. Just gonna have a little sip of my drink. Do you like this one? Shall I keep going? Yeah. Thank you so much, one pleasant. Mr. Anderson. Jumping, Jesus, that's Noxie. He snuck up behind me like some horrible ninja. He always says my name like Agent Smith from The Matrix, as though it's a recent cultural reference, like how you doing, or what's up? I laugh, a high, startled laugh. Kieran Knox, Mr. Mycom. Shaved head, thick-rimmed glasses, navy blue suit with club-striped tie done up in an offensively large double Windsor knot. I am trembling before him. And I looked and beheld a pale horse, and its rider's name was Death. You start wearing blue and brown and working for the clampdown. Are you ready for our chat, mate? Noxie says in the same way a man might ask, are you ready to have your spleen violently removed through your ears? Yes, I think so. Good. I booked a meeting room. In a windowless office, Noxie sits at his laptop, ready to dissect my failures ruthlessly one by one. Have a seat, mate. I immediately obey. I would have jumped onto his fucking lap if he told me to. Now, I just want to go over your performance for this quarter. Obviously, we're still quite away from where we need to be. Well, the thing is, I reply feebly, I've been thinking, and well, I feel that my targets are quite high, and with no marketing budget, they don't really correlate to... Let me just stop you there, mate. Okay. Because what I'm hearing is the tiger. What fresh hell? I'm sorry? The tiger. The tiger is everything that you're afraid of. Everything stopping you from reaching your full potential, achieving your goals. This is about you and how you're going to tame that tiger. Okay, is all I can say. I wasn't expecting this. I mean, I think it is the tiger, but then maybe there's some external factors. It's the tiger. Yes, I see that now. Good boy. Now look, I know you're struggling. Maybe that's my fault for not giving you enough of my time, so from now on I want you in the office, early, every day, with me. You and I are going to cold call our fucking nuts off. Just sit down with a fucking phone book and call and call and call until we've gone right through the whole fucking thing, and then you know what? We're going to start again. Kill me now. Then you're going to smash your sales targets out of the park next quarter and I'll take the whole team out for beers. Fuck it, I'll even take you to the strip club and see some fucking tits for the first time in your life. How does that sound? It sounds like a terrible waking nightmare from which there can be no escape. It sounds great. Good lad, we'll start today. Get back up to your desk, I'll see you there in 15. I do as I'm told. As I walk out the room and back upstairs to my desk, I feel like a death row prisoner whose execution has been cancelled at the last minute. Only now I have to go back to my cell for the next 30 years. Noxie is certain I will comply because, and he knows this, deep down I want to please him. You grow up and you calm down and start working for the clampdown. I slump down in my seat, consider going to the toilet cubicle to cry for an hour. As I bring up my inbox, I see an email from Shannon with the subject line, Clopping, not safe for work. It's a link to Benjamin Story's Tumblr page and the content is staggering. The images, on face value, are pretty horrifying. It's not just that it's weird to see My Little Ponies engaged in all manner of acts with freakishly oversized genitalia and sex toys. It's also the infantilized nature of the whole thing, which is deeply unsettling. Benjamin is a bit of a perv. That's for sure. Certainly a fucking idiot for mentioning this to anyone in the first place. But as I stare at the brightly coloured sexual equine cartoon content on the screen before me, I can see he's put a great deal of time, effort, and, dare I say it, love into these. The very fact they even exist demonstrates he has a passion for creating them and to actually share them with other internet-dwelling ghouls who are probably all crippled by loneliness in the real world, but for who, for all I know, get a tiny bit of solace from something they all enjoy together, the fucking band of weirdos. I find it difficult to tear my eyes away from what I'm seeing. He's definitely captured something. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's something. Thank you. Okay, so in order for this one to land, you have to have at least a rudimentary knowledge of 1990s WWF wrestling, which I think, given this audience, we're probably more or less okay. I'm hopeful for this. This also contains references to cocaine and BDSM, which I'm confident you're all familiar with, especially this man here.
Is that you, Mark?
Fucking. The first time Dad catches me trying on a pair of Mum's tights, he doesn't quite know how to react. I am maybe 8 or 9 years old, my body still boyish and delicate, an unfeathered bird, ribs like leaf veins beneath pink translucent skin. I'm naked from the waist up, yet thankfully still wearing my white cotton briefs on the outside of the tights. At first, Dad's face is utterly blank and time, for a brief second, stands still. It is wonderful. Just when I think his brain has short-circuited, he manages to regain control of his faculties and belts me around the ear with an open palm. A million tiny particles of light rush past my eyes, like when Han Solo makes the jump to light speed in the Millennium Falcon travelling through hyperspace ain't like dusting crops, boy. My ears ring with a sound I've never experienced before. Its effect is dissociative, thrillingly so, severing my mind from my pale, prone body and transporting it to a place that is higher than pain. It's actually the exact sound of a tuning fork hitting the note of A at 440 Hz, the standard concert pitch for most orchestras, but I won't make that connection until much later in life, whilst listening to Vivaldi's Violin Concerto in A minor, crudely shackled to a doorframe as a man named Sebastian serves me a bump of Peruvian flake off the back of his hand before proceeding to flog my Victoria's Secret-clad arse with a riding crop, as once again I am transported to that magical place where I am nowhere and nothing and everything all at once, travelling through hyperspace. But I'm not quite there yet. Today I'm just playing wrestling, and I'm not going to let Dad stop me. In this moment, I'm lying dazed on the canvas as good old JR says, "Oh my God! He just hit him with a steel chair! That's steel!" The referee's been knocked unconscious too, so there's no one to help me, except the crowd, who cheer for me to get up off the mat, and I will get up. Because right now I'm Macho Man Randy Savage. I'm Bret the Hitman Hart, old man. I'm the motherfucking Legion of Doom. Thank you.
Hey.
And if we've still got time, I've got one more very, very short one. If I can find it. This is called Eric the Astronomer. Eric the Astronomer lives alone in a tower made of memories. Old notebooks, scribbled front and back, the musings of a day rendered indecipherable by time. Yellowing sheet music of songs reticently tinkled for loved ones who appreciated the effort, copper-bottomed frying pans which made French toast on Sunday mornings. The things that are left behind after a life has happened. He sleeps most of the day in his bric-a-brac minaret until night falls and the stars and the planets come out, answering his call to prayer. With mighty Jupiter, he shares a glass of scotch and talks of his father, of whom he remembers very little, apart from the way he used to wink with just the corner of an eye, how that one tiny gesture would make him feel bigger than himself. He dances with gentle Venus and tells her his favourite memories of Juliet and the life they shared together. Tonight it's the time it was too rainy to take a boat out on Rydal water, and a goose chased them along the lakefront. Neptune laughs. Venus twirls across the firmament, and as she spins, she unravels space-time like a spool of silk. The fabric of the universe detaches itself, rending apart the threads of this great celestial tapestry, and it's as if Eric could reach out into the nothingness and touch Juliet's fingers one last time. The solar system rearranges itself around them, and a single object falls slowly from the sky, dragging a comet's tail in its wake. It's an umbrella, and it lands softly at the top of the tower. And so it goes on for Eric, night after night, this dance, this worship. And every night, Eric's tower grows a little bit taller. Heaven gets a little nearer. Thank you.
Hey.